Game 5 of their first round series with the Orlando Magic yesterday afternoon when they decided to make a statement of support for what's happening in Kenosha by not playing. This prompted the NBA and the Players Association to cancel all games scheduled for yesterday. The Bucks released a statement late last night. Take a listen.
We're going to place a statement as a team today and go back and continue to educate ourselves and get better awareness of what's going on, and then speak to you guys later. So we're going to come up with a statement now.
Our team statement. The past 4 months have shed a light on the ongoing racial injustices facing our African American community. Citizens around the country have used their voices and platforms to speak out against these wrongdoings. Over the last few days in our home state of Wisconsin, we've seen the horrendous video of Jacob Blake being shot in the back 7 times by a police officer in Kenosha, and the additional shooting of protesters. Despite the overwhelming plea for change, there has been no action. So our focus today cannot be on basketball.
When we take the court and represent Milwaukee and Wisconsin, we are expected to play at a high level, give maximum effort, and hold each other accountable. We hold ourselves to that standard, and in this moment, we are demanding the same from lawmakers and law enforcement. We are calling for justice for Jacob Blake and demand the officers be held accountable. For this to occur, it is imperative for the Wisconsin State Legislature to reconvene after months of inaction and take up meaningful measures to address issues of police accountability, brutality, and criminal justice reform. We encourage all citizens to educate themselves, take peaceful and responsible action, and remember to vote on November 3rd on behalf of the Milwaukee Bucks.
That is the Milwaukee Bucks with their statement late last night calling on the state of Wisconsin to make some significant and real change. Nick, I'll start with you. What do you make of the decision the Milwaukee Bucks made to start this historic day yesterday?
Yeah, I think the Bucks were, oddly, maybe the perfect team for it, not just because of their proximity to the tragedy in Kenosha and what's happened there in the following days, but also the first person you heard from there. When you've got Sterling Brown, by the way, the son of a man who was a police officer for 30 years, Sterling Brown, who a couple years ago goes to a Walgreens and commits the egregious crime of illegal parking, which ends in him getting tackled and tased by local police officers. And not shockingly, I mean, the police officers involved there, while they might have been disciplined internally, they of course face no criminal charges. This is very personal for many members of that basketball team. And I think a lot of people are asking, what do they hope to accomplish? What did they hope to accomplish? And yes, they are accomplishing that we are talking about these things, that a spotlight is shining even brighter on the epidemic of police violence. But when you hear that they talked to the Attorney General, they called on the state legislature to return, it also reminds you not just of the power NBA players have, but the people who own these teams are some of the most powerful people in the world. And if they want to affect change, they actually can affect change. Not donate money, not symbolic gestures, but use their political clout and leverage to affect change. The owner of the Magic is the DeVos family. The Secretary of Education is related to the owner there. Tillman Fertitta, the owner of the Rockets, has regular powwows with the president. Steve Ballmer and Dan Gilbert are worth a combined, as of last count, $130 billion. 2 of the 20 richest people in the world. The owner of the Nuggets is a Walton heir. If these folks want the system to change, they are the exact people who can affect that change. And the NBA players are using the leverage they have to put the actual power brokers at a choice. Because ultimately we get the police force, we get the society that the powers that be demand. And the players are demanding that the actual power in this country demand an actual change. And the owner's got the money, the clout, and the leverage to do it. So I think they're trying to put the owners to a decision that's more than donating money to opening voting centers and things of that sort, and see what if the owners actually are going to walk with them in this, Brandon.
Oof. Wow. I mean, all of this takes me back to 2016 when Cap took his first knee.
Yeah.
I remember feeling the pressure and the weight of the world on my shoulders and my teammates' shoulders every single day. Every time we walked in a locker room, there was some reporter, somebody on the beat asking us, what are you guys going to say this week? What are you going to do? Are you going to kneel? Are you going to put up a fist? Are you going to lock arms? And I remember feeling like this is unbelievable heavy, unbelievably heavy. So it takes me to the day and thinking about how this is 4 years later and the Bucks are taking a knee for the very same thing. Like, why are we still in this position? And to your point,
nobody listened.
Nick, our owners, our people in entertainment, our people in business, you need to carry this load as well. That was one of the thoughts that always stuck in my head in 2016 was, where are the entertainers? Why aren't they taking a knee on stage? Why did it take 4 years for someone on TV to walk off? We need change, and we need change now. I remember just thinking, man, just in 2011 when things changed radically in my life, it was because of football. I remember going to Ricky Williams and asking Ricky, and for a lot of people don't know, I'm passionate about mental health and, you know, been championing this for probably 10 years now. And I remember going to Ricky Williams and asking Ricky, I said, Ricky, do you think something's wrong with me? And Ricky in his amazing voice said, Brandon, no, I don't think anything's wrong with you. I just think you say the things that we all want to say but shouldn't say. And I laughed at Ricky because I'm like, he sounds, one, his voice is amazing, and two, it's just he had a way with words. And I walked out to the practice field and I dropped 4 balls. And that was the very first time in my life that the football field wasn't my sanctuary. And that was the very first time in my life where I said, I need help. So for these players to be walking away from the game right now says so much, because it's not in our DNA not to play. Because the field, the tennis court, the basketball court, like, this is our sanctuary. So, Jenna, Wilds, this is an emotional day for me because I just feel that same weight from 2016 on me right now, and I think it's on all of us. You know, we're in front of the camera and we're trying to deliver a message and speak to people, and it's heavy. It's just extremely heavy right now.
No,
Wilds,
Brandon,
go ahead.
I know I speak for everybody. I think I appreciate your honesty and nuance, and I think the world does as well. So thank you. Jenna, we were talking about the Bucks starting this and being the catalyst. I also want to shine a light on Doc Rivers, and we talked about it on the show. And Brandon, we talked about it. I said that's one of the most powerful post-game press conferences I'd ever seen, or it's ever in the history of sports, and wanted to bring it back and play it here today.
All you do is keep hearing about fear. It's amazing why we keep loving this country, and this country does not love us back. And it's really so sad. Like, I should just be a coach. And it's so often reminded of my color. You know, it's just really sad. We got to do better. But we got to demand better. Like, we got, you know, it's funny. We protest and they send riot guards, right? They send people in riot outfits. They go to Michigan with guns and they're spitting on cops and nothing happens. The training has to change in the police force, The unions have to be taken down in the police force. My dad was a cop. I believe in good cops. We're not trying to defund the police and take all their money away. We're trying to get them to protect us, just like they protect everybody else. I didn't want to talk about it before the game because it's so hard. Like, just keep watching it. That video, if you watch that video, you don't need to be black to be outraged. You need to be American and outraged. And how dare the Republicans talk about fear? We're the ones that need to be scared. We're the ones having to talk to every black child. What white father has to give his son a talk about being careful if you get pulled over? It's just ridiculous. And it just keeps going. There's no charges. Breonna Taylor, no charges, nothing. All we're asking is you live up to the Constitution.
Powerful words from Doc Rivers, probably some of the more powerful ones we've heard in a press conference this week. Doc, clearly affected by the emotional toll this has taken on the players and coaches as black men in America. We're going to take a break. Before we do, I want to share some images from around the sports world echoing the sentiments from the Bucs yesterday. Mets left fielder